I feel like that's a go-to.
It's a classic. It's a staple of the show.
Staple of the show.
People love it.
I love it.
Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And together we are
Ryan and John.
on the couch as always, producer Cara Tafolla, and introducing the lovely Annie Skovmand.
Introducing every week.
Introducing brand new
Brand
me.
new.
It's like a brand new
So
me.
good to have you this week.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't know what this podcast is really about.
Okay,
I've never, I'm new to
just
this.
chill, okay?
Be kind to me because I've never podcasted
this is
before.
a
This
bit
is my
you're doing.
first time.
I thought you were
right,
literally
that's
be like,
right.
I don't know what this podcast is about.
No,
I'm
it was
like,
a bit.
okay,
It was a bit.
slow
It was a
down.
bit.
To be completely fair,
Does anyone?
Nah.
it's a show about nothing, right?
And that's the beauty of it.
That's a show about nothing.
That's true. It's true.
Barry B. Benson.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell you what,
Jeez.
I had a heck of a week
Oh, yeah.
without my watch.
The saga of the Apple Watch. I got a text from you early last week saying, if you find my Apple Watch, send me a ring.
I think I truly sent it out to everyone in my contacts list because I hate losing stuff.
Yeah.
I hate losing things that I have on me because, you put it somewhere every day. You put your phone or your watch, your keys in the same spot every day. And the time you don't, you decide to put it somewhere weird and random.
Yeah,
And then you
agree.
don't remember. You being me, of course.
Yeah. And
It
also me
sucks,
being me,
and I hate that
'cause-
feeling because I tore up my whole house. I tore up my car, tore up Cara's car.
I want everyone to know that I knew exactly where it was, and I knew it was in here.
Okay.
Okay,
knew
well,
it.
spoiler alert.
Knew it, I
mean,
knew
we
it, I
got
knew
to
it.
the end
It's
of the
true. Well,
race here.
I literally said that it was probably in that chair.
It turns
It
out
wasn't.
I left it here at the podcast last
Yeah.
week recording.
I had a great time playing detective with it.
Oh, yeah?
As I was looking at footage, and all of a
you
sudden I
weren't.
realized that
She
in one
literally
video,
texts me. It's so good. She goes, Ryan, your watch is in the studio. And here's because I figured it had to be somewhere after because I watched the podcast and I was wearing it.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, oh, well.
Last known whereabouts, recording
So
on the podcast.
I could rule out a couple of places.
Yeah.
I was, on Monday or whatever. Then Annie texted me and she said, look at this TikTok video I took at 9 o'clock. You were wearing it. And then an hour later, you weren't wearing it. So you must have taken it off. So it was here in the podcast studio.
Yeah.
And she was right.
I said #detective.
I didn't initially find it
Detective
on my
Annie.
first search, and then, things got shuffled around, and I found it. And did you put it on the charger or no? You don't know. You don't know if you did put it on the charger. And
We're still in the bit about me
sorry.
being a detective, okay?
Yep.
Thank you. That was a dream of mine as a child, to be a detective.
Like Inspector Gadget.
Ooh, yes. I just watched so many cop shows that I was like, ooh, I'm going to solve crimes.
See, you know what's funny is, oh, okay, I'll let this play out.
This is so much better than the intro.
Yeah.
Detective Annie.
Now this has to be... Is this going to be a spin-off series?
Yeah.
Is this a soft launching my spin-off series?
Coming this summer.
Detective Annie.
Detective Annie, what's your latest case?
My late...
Your latest case.
Well, I just solved the case of the
Okay,
missing
what's
Apple
your next
Watch.
case?
That's
What's
right,
your next
that's
case?
right.
She's
My
taking a
next
break
one-
after this case.
She's retiring after
is.
one case. She retires.
And she's gone.
Well, there's a lot of paperwork to do after that.
Yeah,
you know?
lots of paperwork.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Well,
Yeah, you found it.
and now here it is.
And now here we are.
And I can't tell you how many times I was wearing my normal watch and just slapped it for no reason. Just
The old
smack
Apple- yeah.
the old Apple Watch smack.
I don't wear. Well, occasionally I'll wear a different watch, but sometimes I'll forget my watch and I do this all day long.
Yep.
That was me today
and
at work.
it's
It was
not
bad.
there.
you
so
think you're
dumb.
gonna wear a different watch on your wedding?
Good question.
Good question.
Speaking of a lot of paperwork to do.
A lot of
True.
paperwork,
It's the
man.
big
A lot
weekend.
of paperwork.
Next podcast, you're going to be a married man.
That's right.
Man.
Maybe. Maybe.
No,
yeah.
yeah, you
In
are.
theory. Yeah.
The
in
next
theory.
time we release a podcast,
I will be
you will be
married.
a
Yes.
married man.
Yes, I will. You're right. I'm very excited. It's gonna be great.
I had a great time.
Oh yeah,
At
I'm
your
sure
wedding.
you did. As far as the watch thing, I'll probably wear a real watch. I don't know what watch. But I can't imagine. I either will wear her watch or not wear anything because I can't
Yeah.
imagine wearing an Apple Watch. Jordan will kill me if all of
Yeah,
our wedding
no.
photos
Oh.
have my watch face.
Do you, John?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah.
It says I need to stand. It doesn't realize I am standing. Hold on.
Hold on. I need to walk around. I got to hit my goal here. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry. You understand, Jordan.
It's
right?
telling me to breathe.
I get that one a lot. I get that one.
Breathe.
The
What
mindfulness.
is
My
it just
blood-
mindfulness? It's not like, is it blood
No,
flow?
I think
No.
it's your heart rate or something. Because
It's
I
just
when I
get
get
that a lot.
stressed.
Hour.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, it is.
It's a mind.
Well,
It's
not
called
every
like
hour, but
mindfulness.
It's the same one that
something.
says it's time to stand. Like if it
Oh,
knows
really?
that one is based on your heart rate, but breathe is just like freaking don't forget
No,
to breathe.
time to stand is based on your stand goal.
Yeah, it'll tell you.
Yeah, because my stand goal, I think
Hey, you
I
know
didn't
what?
even reset it. It's like at a minute every hour.
Jeez.
Doesn't really matter.
I feel like I go days without the stand goal. It doesn't even remind me. And then some days it's like stand every hour. I'm like, whoa, okay,
like,
this is too
okay,
much.
chill.
Like just
This
give me
is too
get me on a
much.
plan or something. You know,
Standing
you're really just
every
like
hour for a minute
yeah, I
is
work a
too
desk job,
much.
right?
Too much.
I work a desk job, right? Don't make fun of me.
Well, that's keeping you alive right there. That little stand every.
And I, you know,
Once an
you know
hour.
what they say, sitting is the new smoking. So I
Yeah.
try and stand. I got my stand desk every once in a while. I'll stand up.
How have you
back
enjoyed working in your new place?
It's great. I mean, I like working from home. You know, a little backstory. I've wanted to work from home for a long time. And it wasn't until the pandemic that I got to. Working from home in here is where I used to work before I moved out. And that was tricky because, you know, back in the day, we used to record a lot of different shows in here all the time. So I was literally like some days I was spending the whole day in here, but having it separate, like in my place and then coming to here, do creative podcast stuff here. It's been really great. I love to just open the windows of the apartment, just like let the breeze come in and it's like complete silence. Here too, when I worked here, you know, this is my parents' house, so it's just like people were always coming and going, and I felt like every time I got in the groove of like taking calls and working, somebody would crack the door and be like, "Hey, where's the scissors?" And I'm like,
You're like
I'm working here. So, but yeah, it's been great at the new place.
excellent.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Oh, of course.
Thanks for asking.
You know, I was scrolling through my phone at work today, and I saw that Elon Musk is buying Twitter officially.
Crazy. You know how much
right.
he's buying it for? Anyone?
I do.
I know, but
Everybody
I'm gonna
knows.
let you say
It was the headline, so I
Yeah.
would assume everybody knows.
Yeah.
$25 billion.
Well, I heard it was 44.
I saw 44.
44?
Yeah, I
it was
heard 44.
44.5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
44
guess not
billion.
all of
I
us
was off by
know.
$20 billion.
Yeah, let me check.
That was the
I saw 44
the
too.
tweet
No,
I saw
buddy, hey,
showed
listen.
25. Am I just completely misreading?
It's
that?
confusing to me because he wants to make it private. And I know he was talking to investors. So does it mean like in the realm of he's taking a publicly
$44 billion.
owned...
44?
Is he taking a publicly owned business and putting it back in the private sector?
Yes, he is. So he offered a very generous per share deal that, you know, amounted to $44 billion. It was
To give him
$52,
majority.
$52 a
Crazy.
share. So basically the most baller move I've seen on the stock market, he sends a letter to Twitter's executives and says he at the time right now before this deal, he owned 9% of Twitter, which is a lot of shares. And so he kind of amassed that over amount of time. He's been buying them up. And he sent this letter to executives. He said, he's like, this is not a threat, but I think this company is being completely mismanaged. I think it should be a private company. And I want to buy it for $44 billion. And he said that's $52 a share, whole thing. And the $52 a share is more than what it's worth now. He's buying it at a markup. And he said that if you don't accept this offer, this is not a threat, I'm going to basically sell my 9%, which as the stock market goes, it will tank the stock.
It is a threat.
And
He's saying it's not a threat. That is 100% a threat.
I know it would eventually go back up, but it would take a long time. It would take a whole hit. You know what I'm saying? But then also he said that in that same letter, he's like, if you do sell it to me, I plan on like wiping out the entire leadership team and starting over. I mean, obviously keeping the structure, but like he's like, I don't think any of you guys know what you're doing, kind of thing.
Wow.
Like very vaguely, but the
Dang.
letter was very like that. And so, you know, and it really isn't up to like the executives. It's it's a publicly traded company, so it's kind of up to the shareholders. So they had this shareholder meeting and they all voted. And I think people saw the writing on the wall. It was like Elon is very hot right now. He's very successful in business, and especially can turn a company. You know, he created PayPal. Right?
I think nothing good
Yeah,
is
that
going
was
to come
his,
out
like,
of
his
this
first
situation.
venture.
Hot take.
No,
nothing good can
I
come
agree,
out
but
of it.
I'm saying I think people saw that and they know Elon Musk is like this flashy guy.
Yep.
And I thought they go, but also another conversation is Twitter has not been doing well. I mean, Twitter has been in lawsuits left and right, you know.
For what?
For different things, like, you know, because they don't have any
like
rules.
law things,
They,
you know.
no, they don't have any.
lawsuits.
They have very vague rules. So anytime there's some sort of lawsuit about he said she said, Twitter automatically gets looped in because they either didn't do enough or they did too much on this stuff.
I
So
see.
they and I imagine all social media companies are like that, but Twitter has been kind of under fire a lot because it also has been censoring a lot of public figures and suspending accounts and. But if you ask me, that's kind of what happens when you don't have a lot of restrictions on your social media app anyways.
I think there can only be more of that once, like when there's a figurehead and that's so politically involved like Elon Musk is, it's just going to be more of that. Like it'll
That's the
turn into
question.
Facebook of the.
So
I
they
think it's
confirmed
dead.
it. They confirmed it. He is going to, you know, there's just like a ton of paperwork.
He
Speaking
gonna
of
buy it.
paperwork, and he's
Paperwork.
gonna bring into the private sector. And now what that means is, who knows? He tweeted today. He said, is very vague, but he was like, I hope my critics stay on Twitter. He's like, because we live in a free speech, you know, world. And that makes basically insinuating that maybe he's going to let people that were previously banned come back to Twitter and let it be a little more.
It's not going to be the first thing he gets is like a list of every single person who's been banned.
Well, there's been a lot of people, you know, like I said, banned. And I will say this: I don't know that I've never really liked Twitter. So
Yeah.
I think it's definitely where you find out information quickest.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times it beats the news networks, and so that's why I've always had it because it's always kind of fun to kind of go through there. But I think it is. It's like a lawless social media. I mean, you can literally post whatever you want, and I don't know. I think that's kind of toxic, but that's social media really at its core. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But
I think it's the most social of the medias.
yeah, it's
Truly.
you definitely have a lot of leeway and you know, ups and downs. But it sounds like Twitter's not been doing well, and so I think the executives maybe are taking the poll.
cha-ching.
I think it's the
No, what's
last
the
nail in the
word in
coffin,
sync?
really, because it's like, you know, Facebook is basically dead apart from like its fan base, which is older generation.
Seriously.
Boom.
Right?
Boomers.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of a
Facebook
death
died when
wish
they
for
took those
social
games
medias, right?
off.
You talking about
Damn.
Farmville?
Farmville. They got rid of
hit.
Farmville. It
You know how many
died.
messages I got hit up from people playing Farmville?
Every single
Hey,
one.
join Farmville and
I'm gonna
blah,
give
blah,
you
blah. We'll
three
give you
free pay.
Yeah.
Three
You're like,
bales a
oh,
hit.
God.
Yes. I love
Was a fun game
Farmville.
though.
So good.
I don't know. I mean, it brings a great point. Where do you think it's going to go from here? I mean,
You know,
It's hard though, because like I think about the whole Will Smith slap thing. Like
Go ahead.
right when that happened, it was like go to Twitter. Like that's where everyone goes off.
That
about
is where
those
I
things.
saw it.
Yeah.
first.
I think it'll still remain to be that, but I don't think anything more than like.
I don't think it,
you don't
it
think
will ever be.
Elon's
more.
going to revolutionize it or
It's like
anything.
why does stuff get trending? Maybe because of an algorithm or because like, you know, Twitter. I'm sure Twitter has the ability to push certain like trending things. Like why wouldn't they then be like, oh, you know what's trending every day all the time? Tesla. Yeah, Tesla.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
look at what Tesla's doing.
You just get promoted Tesla all the time.
totally.
You think he's going to use it as the marketing?
I
his
I
own
think he would be
things.
foolish to not like as a just him
Isn't it
as himself.
marketed as much as it can be though? Like doesn't Tesla have a page and
I'm saying what's going to stop him going like, oh,
Choosing what's
every
trending.
morning you're going to wake up from a notification from Twitter that says Tesla like is doing great as a company. Like,
well then
and
the
that's
app would
subliminal.
tank.
Maybe
Because
not.
those who don't have Teslas are like, no.
Well, even if it's subliminal, even if you just swipe it away, it's like now that's in your brain. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
He's
think-
incepting us.
I think
Or he's gonna
Twitter's
incept
gonna
us.
die eventually too, mainly because it's not like the visuals aren't as there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's reading, and unfortunately, I think the reading is gonna slowly fall off. That sounds so like stupid and
Get off
vague.
my lawn.
Reading's going to die.
Reading's gonna die, but I mean, like this next generation with TikTok, they love TikTok because it's a visual component where they can get told their information. Even podcasts have gone off. You know, like in 2020,
You don't have to read,
podcasts
you listen.
boomed. And it's because you can like sit there and it's just easier to take in. Where I feel like unless we have this kind of like resurgence of yeah, remember Twitter? Let's bring Twitter back.
Do you think that's a bad
Twitter back.
thing? That stuff is getting easier. Like, do you think Shakespeare could have, like, if Shakespeare could have released a podcast, wouldn't he have? Like, like because we have the technology, I don't know.
No, there's always. I mean, look, think about it. There's a community for vinyl. There's a community
You're
for
right.
CDs.
I'm saying things I don't believe. 'Cause
Everything,
I'm like,
everything is always going to have its place, and that's what I'm saying. Like, reading will never go away. Now,
No. That's not what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think that's exactly what I said, huh?
Yeah,
Actually,
but I know
that's
what you meant.
exactly
on it.
what I said. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you meant more towards
You meant,
social media.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing. Somebody was just telling me the other day about attention spans, that things are getting shorter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and people can't digest long form content, and you know they can in a podcast form, but they won't go out and watch a YouTube video that's longer than 10 minutes. You know, it's
Sure.
like the rules are changing, and that's always been the case. You know,
But you're kind of right, because now there's a resurgence of, you know, vinyl and
vinyl on the wall right there.
film photography.
Yeah, film's getting huge.
Hey, wait, I'm gonna take a quick.
That doesn't count.
It counts. What you know what, it does count, because those cameras when we were kids, $2, $5, now $19.
Yeah, one
it's
of
a
these
lot.
bad girls is $20. You're better off getting rolls
Well,
of
that's
film
because
and
no
getting
one
a
develops them
reusable.
anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does
I think
Walgreens still develop them?
No, I don't think
CVS?
so.
it's interesting because I do think that we'll see a regression in the digital art world because I think, like you said, we're going back to film and things like that. I think people are starting to, you know, it's, ironically, I hate that I'm bringing this up, but
ahead.
Logan Paul has this new series coming out.
Okay.
And it's about taking a Polaroid a day for an entire year. And he talks about like creating the moment because he only has one frame and having to be very like specific with what he wants. And he goes out. It starts by him doing a bunch of crazy stuff in the beginning. I haven't seen the series, but I saw the preview, and then it sounds like he has like this real like kind of evolution of like, oh, why am I just doing this as like the craziest thing I can do? Like I should really try and create art. You know what I'm saying? Like what can I create with one frame a day? And it looks pretty interesting. And like I said, I don't like Logan Paul and a lot of the press that comes with it, but I do think we'll see a regression in art because right now I can take 1,000 photos on my phone, but none of it means anything. You know what I'm saying? Like then I have 1,000 photos, but it's like I didn't put any care or time in framing that up because I can take as many as I want. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like if you have a film camera, you have how many shots are in that camera?
20.
In this
27.
one specifically, there is, I think there was 28 or something.
And every time you take a photo, you have to crank it back, and you don't even know what it's going to look like. So you're taking a little bit more time to be like meticulous of like, okay, I'm going to take the shot because I want to remember this specific moment. I think
I agree with you, but I also don't. Like, I think...
Okay.
I don't know, like just because there are limitations, like we work around the limitations we have because that's what we have to do. But it's like think about Polaroid for a second. The jump that Polaroid made from film, right? You got to send this back to the lab and they have to develop it and send it back to you. You know, whatever that means, you still have to wait. And then Polaroid comes out and it's an instant photograph. I'm going to take an instant photograph of you. And now it's like, does that mean less than getting your photos like developed back? And does a iPhone photo mean less to you because it was like, you know what? Do you know what I'm getting
agree.
at? I'm not forming my
as I was
thought
saying
well,
it,
but,
I see what you're saying. It's
but
like,
I think it can be both because you're right. Like, I think it's just a different medium. You know, like we don't know what the next medium is right now that's going to make taking a picture on your iPhone feel like a work of art.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Interesting stuff.
I don't know.
This is a work of art.
But did you see David Dobrik tried to come out with this thing, and I feel like it kind of flopped. But it's some disposable...
Dispo. Right?
Dispo,
The
yeah,
app.
Dispo. Where the whole idea was, it was like a disposable camera in a sense on your phone where you can't see the photo for like, what?
24 hours.
24 hours?
I think.
Yeah,
Interesting.
something like that. It was
I
like...
used it. I
Yeah,
used the app.
I
Yeah.
think the one before that was Fuji, because it was like Fujifilm.
I think that
Yeah.
was just
but it
like
was like
filters.
it would just give a filter, like
but
it was
Dispo,
like
you could literally not access it on the app
Yeah,
until
for
24 hours
24 hours.
later.
Which...
I mean, David Dobrik was back then. He was kind of like I'm sure it was a number of things, and he's not the only factor, but he was one of those social media guys that started using disposable cameras in his vlogs or whatever, and like caused this huge spike. I mean, that's why he created the company, because he started using disposable cameras, and then all of his fan base did, and it started to like kind of blow up. The idea of using disposable cameras, he saw that as a business opportunity and made an app.
Totally.
But
I think it can be both because you're right. Like I said, I've recently gotten into film photography like a lot lately, and it is like you only have 36, sometimes 24, sometimes it's 36 frames you can take, right? And it's like whatever you do with those 36 frames is up to you, but you can fit as much as you can into a shot.
I think what makes it difficult is the differing type of artist. You know what I'm saying? Because I think about the part that makes my theory flawed is like the way you take photos with your disposable, or your film shots. Like you were just capturing the moment, like right there, and not even thinking twice, which I think is a really cool way to capture candid photos and things you could never capture if you were trying. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah.
But I do think there is an art. I would say that if I did something like film, which I don't, but I would probably overanalyze it and go like, okay, I got one shot.
I love to do with my SLR camera. I'm like, rip that open, and we're like in Hawaii, and I'm like, oh, I got to line up the beach just right. With this bad girl, I'm just like, take some cool shots.
Maybe there's freedom in the film. Like you don't have
disposable.
a lot of,
I definitely feel that freedom. I'm like, throw it in the back of your car and snap some pics, and then send it to the lab, and you get them back, and you're like, oh, like that's more intentional of like reliving the moments, going back and looking at your photos in your iPhone, which I love. Lately, I've seen a lot of people doing like Instagram dumps. Have you seen? It sounds goofy now that I've said it out loud, but like a photo dump. Instagram. I'm going to take a dump on social media.
Social media dump.
No, I love that because it's the whole idea, for those who don't know what Instagram dumps are, it's you take these photos.
Photo dumps.
Yeah, photo dumps. You take these photos that you wouldn't necessarily normally post, or they're photos you really like, but it's like
just goofy.
Yeah, like
you
I
don't have a specific time to post them.
Maybe
yeah,
not
it's
cohesive.
Like,
but
yeah, and you just put together all these photos where you're like, hey, this was kind of my life in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm trendy enough for it. I would have a hard time selecting photos, and that's where I kind of was bringing my point of like, when an event happens, like my nephew's birthday was 2 weekends ago, I'm just like snap on my phone, just like, and there's like 1,000. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I will maybe go back and pick one or two of them on the next birthday, or maybe one for Instagram, but like. Ultimately, all those photos are just gonna like live in my iCloud.
Maybe you should go back. Just go back and
well, what's funny is I was doing that today. I was looking for a specific photo in 2016, didn't find it, and
nice.
But I was scrolling through, and I was seeing like, because I'm getting married this week, I'm like seeing all these photos of like Jordan and I, like before we were even a thing, when we were dating the first time, when we were like on that 4-year break, and I'm like. And then I'm getting into like the more recent stuff where we started dating again and we got engaged, and I'm like, whoa, the entire narrative of our story is
in photos.
And it's like very interesting.
Fitting. I mean, right? Like you're the iPhone guy and she's like the photographer, and it's like,
Don't tell me they're all in your camera roll though, right?
No, I have OneDrive, so they all back up into OneDrive. And
that's a lot of photos to be on one iPhone.
I realized
mine is fully like that right now. I've got 7,000 photos.
I pay the $10 a month for 2 terabytes of iCloud storage.
Google Photos?
No, I don't trust it.
You know what? Lately, I haven't been trusting it either. I thought it was so cool when it came out. I was like, oh, it's free storage forever, all your photos. And then lately, it's been like, oh yeah, and that's actually connected to your drive, and you can't. Like, that's limited. So now you got to start paying for Google. I'm like, frick that, man.
Well, and listen, I had a hard drive crash, as we all know, a couple of like a year ago now. And I now am like very vigilant about saving multiple copies. What was that?
Was that already a year ago?
I think so.
like probably 6 months.
We were in the 40s of episodes when I did it. So
Yeah,
half a
we're
year.
70s
Sorry.
now.
Okay, half a year. Sorry. 6 months. And
time is passing so fast.
And
for
so
me
now
lately.
I will do multiple copies. So I of every episode, it goes onto two separate drives.
Dang.
So that's why I think of OneDrive and iCloud as two separate. They are two separate copies. You know what I'm saying? So like if something happened with my iCloud or something happened with my OneDrive, I have a backup somewhere. But I'm weird like that, I guess.
My drive has barely anything on it, so I'm not worried about it crashing.
Do you keep a lot of your photos? First of all, do you take a lot of photos, like on your phone?
Who has the most photos?
Not really. All
Let's
of mine
find
are on
out.
Google Photos. Like I delete mine a
You
lot.
delete yours? See, that's scary.
Well, yeah, because it goes onto Google
In
Photos.
your
Annie's
just in
gonna
your
have the most.
phone app.
Annie's gonna have the most. I
How
can
do
feel
you?
it.
How
Where
do you?
does it
You just go to the
say?
Photos app.
Oh,
Recent. What's under
Recents?
recent? Yeah, what's under recents?
How many you got?
7,717.
Wow. Oh, okay. I'm only at 6,068.
Ryan.
Kara, what do you got?
God, you guys, 333.
Wow, you trim your photos that
really
often?
trim
You guys,
it.
Yes.
I have 20,000 photos. I have 20,247 photos.
John.
I didn't know I had that many. I didn't know I had that many.
John.
Check the number.
Can confirm 247.
2247.
How many videos do you have on your phone?
I so
37.
I have 980.
Oh my.
You guys, I'm like shook.
Your mother is.
I have.
calling.
Wait, how much do you have?
Hey, answer it.
How many videos do you have?
How many did you
37.
have?
I had 980.
How many videos do you have?
Jeez.
Wait, I'll go first because I'm sure yours is insane. Mine's 1,688.
Oh, wow.
2,900. 2952.
Wow.
Almost
That's a lot.
3,000.
That's a
When's
lot.
the earliest though that you have on your phone?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Now that
Like,
that's
what's
a
the
probably
first
great
picture on your
question.
phone?
This cracks me up because like this, people are sitting there in their cars listening to us talk about this crap, and they're like,
They
they're
love it.
like,
How
we
many
don't.
videos
How many
you got on
photos
your
do I
phone?
have?
Hey, comment below. How many pictures do you have on your phone right now?
True. Okay, what is your very, very first photo in your phone
Okay, that's good.
My very first photo
Good idea.
is.
that you have saved?
Ready to show Annie? Or I'm going to show mine first.
You can show yours.
It's me and Cara
Aww.
at prom.
Aww.
What year?
This was May 16th, 2015.
Okay, mine's older than that.
Whoa, give it to
think
me.
mine-
Mine's
is
my
too.
neighbor's old dog,
Oh.
and his name was Ike. He is now dead.
Okay,
And it
cool.
was August 17th, 2014.
Wow.
Mine is.
Go ahead.
You
Oh,
go,
sorry.
Cara.
Mine is a picture of Layla, R.I.P.
Rip.
My first doggy, and it was August 26, 2017. But I deleted since then.
Yeah, you
You've
delete your
deleted
photos
a
pretty
ton.
often.
Yeah,
Like,
300
I
photos. You
keep-
psychopath.
Well, I keep the the
Don't you have
ones
a
that I
big
like
storage
to
on your
always
phone?
look at.
Yeah,
So like
that's-
my second one is this one,
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Ryan.
and then it's just like I have pictures of flowers, of puppies, of the kitties. I have a lot of kitties.
I hoard photos.
Yeah, I don't
I heard memes.
at all.
My
My
thing.
first photo was Christmas Eve, 2010.
Oh my gosh,
Picture of my grandma.
John, that's insane.
You need to purge.
2010.
Purge
Wait,
some
so
photos.
is it all backed up? Is that why?
It's all backed up.
'cause I think I started fresh at one point when I got a new phone.
Yeah, I did
See,
too.
that's
then
I've been
I've been
keeping
backing
the
up since
drive
then.
going, and that's why I
Wow,
pay. I've been paying for the 2 terabytes of cloud storage for the last couple of years because at some point I obviously hit the 250 gigabytes
You
of
know
storage.
how you can
Right.
scroll
So
out?
you had to upgrade.
You can like scroll out so it's like
Yes.
so tiny. There's like
My-
20 photos on each one.
Oh,
No, it hurts me.
wow.
Okay, do you guys
A masterpiece.
a masterpiece.
do you guys do the like do you keep your text messages
Nope.
or do you
Yeah.
have them automatically
No.
deleted
Keep
after
'em.
like a month?
Mine
keep
delete
'em.
after 30 days.
I'm a psycho. I think I keep
Okay,
Go ahead.
trauma.
True. Oh, go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Photos, text messages, everything like that. Ever since I had, so my friend Andrew died. I feel like we talk about it a lot.
We don't.
Oh,
Not enough.
I had a friend die.
Okay.
And we had this one friend. So I wasn't like my big thing was like not taking a ton of photos because my dad was a photographer when I was growing up. So I had to stand for photos constantly. Like he always was taking pictures, always taking pictures. Like we'd go on a walk and he'd be gone for an hour taking pictures of some leaf, you know? And so I
love.
was like, no, don't take pictures, enjoy the moment until my friend died. And I had one friend who always, she literally is like a freaking historian.
Jolie.
Jolie has an archive of us growing up from
Wow.
8th grade
Dang.
until 24. she like videotaped, recorded, just like she basically vlogged for herself and no one else.
Sure.
Our whole lives. And we used to get so annoyed about it. We'd be like, oh my God, put the camera away. Oh my God, stop. Take
You're in
pictures.
the
Oh my
moment,
God.
Jolie.
And then there was this moment after our friend's funeral where we all went back to my house and she brought her hard drives from like childhood.
Wow.
And all of a sudden
dude.
it was like all of these memories and moments
Yeah,
together.
who's living in the moment now, Annie?
And I literally sat there and I remember being like, I can't believe I was ever upset at her for taking the time to take those pictures.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like now I'm so adamant about, to the point where you guys probably get annoyed, where I take little videos randomly. And now we have TikTok, right? So now it's like I can like make something now with them.
Sure.
And I think of all the videos she has, literally just like multiple hard drives of these videos and photos from like all these different cameras, purely just to take pictures of us and capture memories.
So cool.
And like we're able to have them, but she wasn't like gonna make anything with them. You know, like every once in a while we'd
were
make
just for
like
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd make like a birthday video for people. Like I think there was a year where everyone got a birthday video.
Wow.
And that
That's
was like
cool.
that was a thing. But like other than that, it was just for us to have these memories. And
Yeah.
so now I'm like really weird about it. Now I'm like, whenever I'm with people that I care about or love, I have to take pictures. And like same with text messages. After Andrew passed away, I remember coming back, I moved back home and my parents were like, hey, we're gonna go upgrade our phones. Like, come on. And I freaked out because I thought my messages would get
gonna lose
deleted.
them all.
Oh, wow.
And I like freaked out, and like I freaked out at the guy at Costco, and like
The guy's like, hey, listen, I
he
just
was
get
like-
paid
he
to.
was like,
I just work
and
here.
It turned out they didn't. They transferred over, but I was ready to like pay to just get a whole new phone and keep that phone to keep the messages on it and
Wow.
like get a new number.
Wow.
Get like, I was freaking out at the idea that like these conversations I had with him would get deleted.
But
Yeah.
they backed up.
They backed up, and so now I don't delete
Anything.
any of my
Do you
messages.
remember you used to do that when you got a new phone? You take your phone, forget photos. I mean, photos you
Yeah.
just never. I don't even think you could transfer photos, but
Nope.
you could transfer contacts, and they plug both
Yes.
phones in.
Yep.
And they
just
go,
like
and it would transfer all the,
now
the
you just put them
contacts.
next to each other.
Now you can literally set a new iPhone next to it,
Yeah.
and the phone recognizes that there's a new phone
Yep.
next to it, and you just scan the
That's
barcode,
so
and it just
sick.
goes.
Yeah,
"Bam, done."
I did that for this phone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Back in the day, I only got new phones when I destroyed or
Me too.
drowned old phones. So no, never did that. I literally one time went to the beach and I still had the clamshell flip phone
Nice.
in my pocket of my bathing suit. Just walked right into the water.
Dang.
So
You
stupid.
didn't feel a little zap zap in your pocket?
No.
You know, no zap zap for me. Annie, I like that you shared that because I kind of have a similar thing for memes. I have
He has
an
a
album
folder
in
of
my
memes.
phone. I have 2 albums in my phone. One called Spicy Memes.
I love it.
And it has like 300 photos,
Too
right?
much.
Spicy
Too
Memes
much.
has. Let me
Well, you
tell
can
you,
just go back.
383
Okay.
photos and 1 video, and then I have memes Tony gave me, which only has 204, but I gotta update it.
See,
Tony
but there's
gave me?
something like
You know,
there's something
Tony.
about
Oh, okay.
there's
You know,
there's
Tony.
something about memes where like they're so special. It sounds so stupid. It sounds so.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, if you listen to the last
These
episode
sound
and this
rough.
episode, my character has just gone down the
It's so
toilet.
making sense.
They're like-
You're the most
they're like,
freaking
that
Gen
girl
Z
has-
piece of crap on this on this show.
on this show,
Yeah.
they're like that girl
Memes are
has
just
no
so
taste
special.
in homework or
Hates
no
Star
taste
Wars.
in
Thinks that
movies.
memes are special.
But they
No,
are.
they're.
Like,
Hey, look. Talk about like.
I just want to say I'm not the one with the meme folders on my phone.
You're
That's
right.
true. That's
Hey,
true.
talk about limitations in your art medium. Memes is the perfect like.
Okay,
It's
choose
just
a
text and
random
pictures.
one.
I'm gonna. Okay.
Choose
Tell
a
me when to
random.
stop.
Choose a random one. Stop. Uh-oh.
What if I told you we already have the vaccine?
And it's
It's
Mountain
Mountain
Dew.
Dew.
Bomb blast.
What's your very first one you saved?
The very first one I ever saved. I like. This is a favorite of mine. You can come to my island,
yeah.
but I get to shoot arrows at you. 2, I get to throw spears at you. I will not stop. I will not calm down. I do not want computers.
Jeez.
This is how broken my sense of humor is. Like,
Yeah.
I love that.
See,
The hardest part about being a vegan is having to wake up at 5 a.m. to milk the almonds.
That's pretty good.
That is a picture saved on my phone. Do you think if Shakespeare was still around, he'd write memes, saving memes on his phone?
I
Maybe.
Of course he would.
But I think, okay, this sounds so stupid,
Yep.
but I think memes were like a gateway for so much more.
Oh, yeah.
Because memes were like a medium in which that people could express things that no one wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then from that, I think it brought a lot of like really good conversations up. Like I remember being in like 2016 era and memes were huge. I mean they still are, but like they were real big then. And I remember watching the news and them saying that our generation was the most vocal about mental health and money issues
Because of memes.
Because of
it
rage
was
comics.
but it was over memes. Like the conversation was getting brought up because people were making these memes about being depressed and
Yeah.
broke.
Oh yeah.
And it was so interesting because it was like, wow, like you look fast forward now, 6 years?
Sure.
And I think a lot of good has come from it.
Sure.
So, hey, memes,
You know,
memes
they
are a good
date
thing.
the first meme back to like ancient Egyptian times. There was like a
What,
there's a
hieroglyphics?
hieroglyph on the wall of like somebody like praising their cat or something, and they're like, "Oh, that was the first meme."
I wonder if I have any
stupid.
memes.
No, I'm serious. This is I saw a meme about it.
They're
When we started this podcast,
I
you
saw a
had
meme
me-
about it. It was real.
You had me follow 2 meme accounts, Grape Juice something.
Grape Juice
and-
Boys
And Trash Can.
and Trash Can Paul
Trash
is
Can
a
Paul.
favorite of
Yeah.
mine.
I have no
literally-
memes. I have no memes.
You have no
saved
memes
in my
at
phone,
all.
But I think this picture of me needs to be made into a meme.
Oh, that's good.
What is it?
Capturing moments. Oh my god.
Capturing moments.
So you as a it's a little
That's
baby.
just a
with
baby
sunglasses.
photo.
I know, but it's funny because I'm wearing sunglasses.
Okay, but what's the
and
meme?
I'm
What's
in
what's the meme part?
funny
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it?
What would the
What would
caption
you write
be
on it?
of that meme?
Thug Life?
Okay.
Okay, well,
I
she
don't know,
doesn't really
something
understand
funny.
memes, huh?
Hey,
Something funny.
That everybody gets.
memes
it.
are special, you know.
Memes are special.
I have funny ones.
Hey, can we put that on your tombstone, Annie?
Memes.
Memes are
Yeah,
special.
memes are special.
Memes are
Please.
special.
You know what? Actually,
Actually, I'm gonna
I
tattoo
want
that onto my body.
I want that under. I've already planned my tombstone.
We know.
Yeah,
Yes,
and I
yes,
want you
yes,
can put
Your favorite
memes are
thing to part
special.
about is death.
Bad bitches
so.
die hard.
After, yeah,
Thank you.
Bad bitches die hard.
But it's one of those like optical illusions. Like if you look at it this way, it says one thing, and then if you turn your head,
It's super
says-
complex.
Oh my
memes are
gosh.
special.
Yeah, I want that. You what like the baseball cards? Where like
Yep.
one and
Like
then the
the kinda,
picture
like,
is like
Rigid.
oh my gosh, and it could be like me going from like young to old.
Yeah, this is
Like
So
one
rough.
side
This
is
doesn't-
young, one side's old.
yes,
gosh.
exactly. Like Animorphs, right?
Jeez.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Wow.
One side's like me old as a sweet grandma, the other one's like me really hot
Yeah.
and like a
Still
bikini
grandma, still
on like
grandma.
a
Still
car.
grandma,
Hot
but like
grandma.
hot grandma. You know what I'm saying?
Gilf.
Yeah.
Okay. That is too long. Oh my
But
god.
I want it. I want that
Let's
like
hard. Let's do a hard
no, I want
transition.
it
Yeah,
has
get
to
us
be
outta
like
here, get us
it
outta
has to
here.
be like really small, like somewhere, you know, like not like out there because my grandkids will be there probably, but like
Gilf.
real small, just
Gilf?
like
You're so
if you know,
messed up.
if you know, you know.
I think people know that. That's not like a secret.
No, but I'm saying like on my tombstone, it will
Okay.
be hidden,
Okay.
kind of like National Treasure
Okay,
vibes.
sure. I like that.
We'll
Okay,
take
okay.
care of that for
We're
you.
gonna
Don't worry
bury
about
you
it.
in the Black
reach
Hills
into
of
the
South Dakota.
tombstone
Yeah.
and you pull out, and it's just a little scroll, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, but it just says you undo it and it says "Gil."
Nice.
You know what?
Pass.
Hopefully we're not friends by then. Hopefully enough will happen.
Hopefully I'm dead by then, honestly.
Yeah. Let's do a aggressive transition. to
Yeah,
something
go ahead.
else.
Just get us out of here, bud.
Aggressive.
So maybe it'll be done. You know, we always say part of doing this podcast, we record it earlier in the week, and then later in the week it comes out, and then who knows what's happened in between that. So
Yeah,
this may
that's
be
true.
dated, but we've been watching this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. What do you call it? Deposition or court hearing?
deposition.
Court case.
Yeah, court case
It's a
go
case.
down.
Yeah, civil case.
Yes. And Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard for $100 million
Yep.
for defamation.
Yes.
Defamation of character.
What do you think
Interesting.
about this? Have you watched any of it? Have you?
Listen, I'll be honest. It's kind of hard to watch
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it just is a lot of like Johnny Depp on the stand right now and just them just being like, did you send this text message? And he's like,
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know
like-
how I could deny that one. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did a little bit of research on just like the brief history of it all because I feel like I was kind of missing something. I remember when it first came out that Johnny Depp was accused of being, abusive towards Amber Heard, and that's all we knew. And it was like so. I mean, like anything, when these celebrities, when stories come out about them, and it kind of ruins your view of them. It was just more sad than anything,
And it ruined his career.
It was fairly believable because it was like, I mean, and this is my skewed view of it because it's like he's had a long struggle with like substance abuse.
Yeah.
And,
He was like known for trashing hotel rooms and like
classic rock star vibes. So basically, how this goes back is they got married in the early 2010s. The marriage wasn't doing well. They got divorced on paper a year later. And then it wasn't until 2016 that Amber Heard wrote a article about being the survivor of domestic
violence.
abuse.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was specifically noting that Johnny Depp was her abuser, and kind of noted all these horrific events. And that, like, and it was out of a tabloid in England, I believe. But, nowadays anything's posted and it makes it around the world,
Sure.
So originally, immediately Johnny was fired from all of his franchises. He was
Yep.
fired from Pirates of the Caribbean. He was taken out of Fantastic Beasts, which we talked about last week. And he was replaced in this last movie, actually. And, and it was just like this really like crazy thing. He was just kind of blackballed from the movie industry, which, I mean, had that been entirely true,
Sure.
I mean, probably a good thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the time we didn't know. Johnny Depp then basically took a defamation character case in England towards the newspaper, the tabloid, and lost that case because ultimately it fell under the free speech situation. And then when he came to the States, he specifically directed this civil case towards Amber Heard directly.
Right.
Basically saying like she's the one that gave him the information, she's the one that wrote the article. And what's really difficult about a defamation case is I read and I heard that you have to prove intent, malicious intent. So it means basically they have to prove that not only Amber Heard did this because she believed it was her story, but she did this because she was intentionally trying to hurt Johnny's career or Johnny's personal life. And so that's the difficult piece that makes it hard.
Well, essentially, he's been doing just that for the past. It's now been something like 8 or 9 days.
Yeah.
that he's been on the
4,
stand.
I think. Today's the 4th day he's been on the stand.
Well,
in a row.
since the cases or the court hearing has started.
It's been a longer
She was
case,
on the
yeah.
stand. He's now been on the stand for like the 5th day in a row or something.
And I'd like to, I mean, I hope that there's some sort of GoFundMe page for better counsel on Amber Heard's side, because Amber Heard's attorney
They
is
just don't know what to do.
pretty rough. I mean, I
Yeah.
imagine it's a team, but the guy who's leading the team he's making a lot of ridiculous, just like asking very stupid questions.
Yeah.
I mean, perceivably, but I don't know. Maybe he's trying to create
I
some
saw
sort
a couple
of
of
base reality.
supercuts where like it was just all the dumb things. He kept like
Yes.
calling out Johnny Depp for hearsay, and it was like fully out of line. Like he was just getting him in every turn, like wouldn't let him get a word in. And then he comes in with a question like, Johnny, you're significantly larger than Miss Heard, isn't that correct? And he goes, I wouldn't say that.
And he just,
I
he
saw
does
that
a
one
little
too.
smirk.
I saw that one
Deadpan
too.
like finds the camera and looks into the camera. Like
He
it's
does a little
so,
smirk, so
yeah,
good.
he's obviously like got a good attitude about it.
Well,
but
there was one that I saw with all the hearsay stuff, and it's like this cut of like them all saying like, "We're gonna say that's hearsay," and he's like,
yeah.
and he keeps going, and at the end of the video, he's like saying something. He goes, "Oh, but that's hearsay, isn't it?"
He like
Looks at them.
he pauses because he thinks he's like
Yeah, he's like-
Amber had said, and then the lawyer goes, hearsay, Your Honor. And he goes, that's what I thought. He's essentially been laying out this long history of abuse from Amber actually
Yes.
to him,
Yeah.
where in fact whether or not there was abuse coming from Johnny Depp, she had basically beat the snot out of him
Well, that was
on
the big
multiple
thing.
occasions.
Like that came out a couple years ago that it was actually flipped.
Yeah.
And the big thing is that she didn't get dropped from Aquaman.
Right.
That was the big thing. Is that okay? Now she's been accused.
Right.
And she doesn't get dropped from anything.
And it's
just-
so
it's crazy.
Well,
and basically the nail in the coffin for me is when he told the story about how he left the house. She basically like was punching him in the face, beating him up, and he was like, okay, I'm leaving. Like took a bunch of his stuff and some of his stuff and left, and was gonna go back for the rest of his stuff. And he got a text from somebody that was like, hey John, you probably shouldn't go back right now. And it was a picture of their bedroom, and in their bed was a massive, presumably Amber Heard turd.
No.
I heard about
An
this.
Amber
No.
turd.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
She
Just
had
on her-
pooped
his pillow, right?
in his bed. He said, or as Johnny put it, and there was a picture of our bed, and fecal matter was in it.
Nicolas Cage or
No,
Yeah,
that was Johnny
that's
Depp.
not-
That was
no.
no,
Little
that's kind
cagey.
of how he.
Think of
Look,
Jack
Cage,
Sparrow.
yeah, he
Just
talks-
go Jack Sparrow. It's literally
Oh
it.
yeah, so
No.
No.
That's
Harry
now,
Styles.
now we're Harry Styles.
Yeah. Okay.
The dude's from Arkansas. He has like a very strange
and he
accent.
talks like that. He
It's
talks
weird.
very
It's
similar
weird.
to Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he talks
He
as if
has
he's
this
trying
kind of-
not to have an accent at all.
Yes.
Yes, he's like this
But he's
mysterious
still a
European.
pirate. But he's still a
Yeah.
pirate.
The point is, who heard the turd? You know.
I think
gosh.
ultimately, and I told you this before we
Go
started
ahead.
the podcast. I don't know that Johnny Depp is in this for winning. I think he's really in this to make
Clear his name.
clear his name
Well,
and
not
to make
clear his
to
name,
make all
'cause
the
it's-
facts public. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Put it all
Yeah.
out there.
And I think, and I was telling you this, I don't know that if he had gone to a news network and tried to explain this, that anyone would have believed it. I mean, that's the world we live in. So I think he knows there's a really far cry that he's going to actually win this case. I think he's doing it to kind of clear his name, and I think if I can say so, he's doing it pretty well. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
I think everything that's come out about this,
Now,
it
I
makes
don't-
me believe that they're just too like. They just were just two bad people in the wrong situation.
In a bad situation,
you know,
in a bad
like,
relationship.
Yeah,
because
mean,
I'm also seeing a lot of like hashtag justice for Johnny, and I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I don't want to like
Yeah.
say, oh, it's actually one way or the other. Like I think domestic abuse is wrong, whether it's a male to a female or it's to one partner to another. That's wrong. So it's
Yeah.
not like oh well, it's okay that he got some licks in because she was beating the crap out of him. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
But I think the worst part of the whole thing is it's like just out. It's the worst. It's the bad
we were
part
talking
of
about how
celebrity
it's
culture.
live streamed. Literally,
It
it's
is being
literally live
live
streamed on
streamed
TikTok.
on TikTok and on Facebook and on Twitter, and it's like here it is. It's like watching real life marriage story
Yes.
like happening.
And Cara brought up a good point. Like, they're not going to live stream it without permission. Like, the
There
parties have
had to be
consented.
some kind of permission.
Because the reality is this, I think that this, it's kind of like OJ, right? Where it's like, this is now in the court of public opinion. Like, it doesn't really matter what the end of this hearing is. What matters is what the public thinks of it.
Yeah.
Because that's what determines him getting jobs again.
Yes.
And the reality is like $100 million. Yeah, he probably easily has lost out on $100 million
Sure.
from all of this over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, easily.
Well, he probably, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that he's expecting to win. I think he saw this as an opportunity to set the record straight on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he knows he messed up too. I mean,
I think after all this, I think this is just enough coverage that somebody will pick him up and he'll be in another movie.
oh, this is not
Well,
the
I
end
think
of his
I'm
career.
pretty sure
no.
Disney like invited him back for Pirates, but he's done. He told them no.
I mean, I don't
Which
think
I
he's
would
done with
too, if
acting.
they drop
He's
me.
probably done with Pirates of the Caribbean.
I mean, a
Yeah.
paycheck speaks for itself. I don't know that I don't know that it probably
$100 million came along, he'd probably do
He's
another
probably
one.
it's probably old hat for him. And I mean, think about how many movies he did with the Pirates.
Yeah.
He's got a creative, and he's that kind of guy. Whether we like it or not, he's that kind of like creative
Sure.
guy who
Yes.
just he's probably tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I could see him being like, yeah, I'm kind of done with.
But at
with,
some point,
you know,
I think
actors are
the-
freelance.
the
like,
biggest
you need
bomb-
a
he'll,
job.
he'll go back, just not now.
Biggest
I know.
bombshell so far has been the Milani makeup that came out.
This
Did you
is
hear
kind
about
of an
this?
interesting
No.
thing that
Okay.
Cara told me about.
So Amber Heard used this concealer pack it was Milani's brand, and it's all these different kinds of concealers. And she says that she used that in 2016 to cover up all of her bruises, and that's why you couldn't tell that she had any. Well, the girls
This is
who
so
work for Milani
crazy.
went on TikTok and used the sound, the international super spy. They used that sound, and it came out that specific product that she said she carried in her purse for years didn't come out until 2017 on shelves.
So she was saying that, which is a weird thing that they would ask her specifically what makeup she was using.
Because she didn't have bruises.
And they're like, oh, wow.
And they're like, oh, how'd you cover up your bruises so well? And she goes, oh, I used this makeup
and
from 2015 to
creator
2016.
Said,
And
the creator
Milani
said,
went,
we didn't even make that product when you said you were using it. That's so rough.
Yeah.
Got her.
And then the girl who found that out, she posted a TikTok and she was like, I literally realized this in my house, and I went to the court and I tried to find like who to give it to, who to email, and she found the specific person to email it to, and they said, thank you so much. This is so helpful. And she was like, I hope I did something.
I mean, it's
And
kind of
she
a
did.
dumb question, though. Like, what kind of makeup were you using? She could have
But
just
it's
said, like,
concealer.
really good makeup. Like, none of your
Concealer,
business.
that's it.
But she
Or-
specifically said that one brand,
Yeah.
which,
I don't
which is
know.
kind of a weird thing.
Do you think people get more specific when they're lying? Or, like,
Yes.
if
Yes,
she was
it
telling the
is.
truth, she would have just been like, oh, I was just
She
using
could have
makeup.
said, oh,
like,
the concealer that I was using at the
that's-
time.
if you're getting
Well,
abused
that's how they
and you're
know-
intentionally covering it up, you wouldn't be like, I used Coral Blue number 4 to cover
That's
it
She's
up.
looking for a
Like,
branding deal.
Yes, totally.
That's what they say for like lie. Like that's how they can tell like someone is lying when they're
Specific.
confessing, is when the story doesn't change. Because
Right.
like the more you talk about it, like naturally, the more you will remember.
Sure.
So if your story is exactly the same from the very beginning of you saying it, like they're like
You
9
had time
times
to
out of
think it out.
10, yeah, 9 times
you're
out of 10, you're
intentionally-
just lying and you're just leaving extra bits out at this point. Because like
Interesting.
if you're telling the truth and you're like trying to get there again and relive it, like your memory will eventually form more.
Yeah.
And you'll
Oh,
like
wait,
you'll
this-
be like,
this was in
actually,
there
I
too."
also used this, or like, also, who freaking remembers what makeup they used in 2015?
and it's, yeah.
Like no one.
Do you think she's
Sketchy.
lying or not lying?
I think she's
That
lying.
that seems to be
she's
a
done-
lie.
Well, she has to be lying if they didn't come out with that
I think
product.
she's probably, what's happening is she's underselling her participation in the abuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and,
obviously,
like,
she's probably like,
I'm not
you know.
saying that she wasn't abused
They're pretty,
at any
they're pretty
point.
far away in age too. I mean, that's no
Are they?
that's no news
She's
for
pretty young.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, come
she's,
on.
She's 36 and he's 59.
59?
Oh, he's 59. He's
so
almost 60.
should this be legal? Should we be allowed to watch court cases go down like this on the news? Should they be on the
That's the
news?
question.
Should they? I guess
I think
not.
this
Should they
one-
be
It's not
legal?
on the news.
I guess it's
that's
not
the thing
legality.
that's crazy to me. It's not
Yeah.
even on the news.
It's
It's
on social
freaking
media.
the first thing when you open any social media app, it's their live stream. When you open Facebook, it automatically opens to the live
It's
stream.
news networks though. I mean, ABC,
ABC
News
Yeah,
is the one that does that on TikTok.
It is. You're right, but it is like news networks are in the building.
In the social media realm, though, you're right. It's not.
It's the TikTok account
They're
of
not.
CBS
They're not.
8
They're
or
not
whatever.
streaming it on TV.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't
for
care
sure
about
not,
the
but
TV. They care about the young people's opinions of this.
I don't know. I think it is, the transparency is refreshing in the sense that, you know, the reality is we can't make any decisions. Like, it's up to the 12
Yeah.
jurors. You know what I'm saying? But it is interesting, and I think
No, I think
for-
it's a judge. Is it a jury?
It's
Oh.
a judge, right? Because it's a.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
There's
either way, we
there's
can't.
a jury because I saw a thing
For
that
what?
Amber Heard's side sent the jury home for 3 days
But it's.
to think about.
How does that work? It's a civil case, like.
They have juries.
They
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, they have juries for both. I'm pretty sure.
It's big.
Oh, I
You don't think
guess you
so?
are.
She doesn't think so.
Let's hear it, big government.
I think they probably could request a jury, but I don't see how.
Aren't you entitled
I think
to a
they
jury
have
of your
one.
peers? Isn't that a?
But that's a criminal court. That's.
Right.
I don't know if that would be if you're doing a civil court. Usually it's a mediator, and usually it's just up to a judge's discretion.
I know nothing
Oh.
about it.
Civil litigation enjoy a right to a jury in cases arising at common law and when a jury is provided by statute.
So they wanted a jury.
Yeah, so
I
basically
guess
they
it's
requested it.
something like a defamation case. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, it'd be hard to.
Because
he
if
being
you
defamed?
could, I mean, especially at that caliber, like the amount of millions of dollars that those people each have.
Yeah.
Like one person to entrust one person not to be swayed over by
That's
a side.
the one part about it being a judge that would be so intimidating for me. Is like, you know, we talked about the case, the girl from Plainsville case, and
It was like the case with the girl. What are you talking about, John?
okay.
the girl from Plainsville.
The girl from Plainsville.
I won't get into it, but
The case for the
basically,
girl from
her lawyer requested not to have a jury. And so it just was up to this judge. Like they presented like a normal case, and this one guy had to decide whether or not she was,
Because that's a coin toss, right?
I feel like
mean,
if you
manslaughter.
don't,
A
if you
jury of
request
your peers.
not to have a jury, you're guilty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he was
Or
he was
your
thinking that he
people are
could
gonna-
defend, that he could that they wouldn't be able to put up a case. He didn't want the emotional side of a jury. He wanted a
'Cause
very
that's-
like
That
clear,
makes sense.
concise, like
Because that's a judge's job
Yeah.
is to not do it based on now whether or not they do that is
Yeah,
whatever. But
I mean, I say
it
what
should be by the book if it's from a judge.
Yeah.
as far as the streaming goes, I think it's cool in the sense that it is transparency for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we see these things come
they
to the
don't owe
news
it-
and we don't really get to know the
But
details.
they don't owe us anything.
They don't.
Johnny Depp
but
and
I'm
Amber
just
Heard,
saying,
I mean, like,
if I had to choose whether we get the stream or don't get the stream, if the people in the room are okay with it being streamed, I think it's cool. I think it's cool to watch and get the full story.
I don't think they were given that.
You don't think so?
I have a feeling it's probably just like a public courtroom and news outlets are getting in
be.
there and because would you want that? Would you be like, yeah, that's cool, stream my stuff?
I mean,
If you were, God forbid, after this week, we're gonna have a great weekend. Right?
Good, yeah,
A couple
yeah.
weeks from now, you and Jordan, you get into it, and then you have this big defamation case.
Yeah, and then you have a
$100 million.
definition.
And then they were like, "Hey, is it
100
cool if we
stream
this on
this?
TikTok?"
But
be like,
okay,
"Hey,
you're
that's
asking the
fine.
wrong person
That's
because
fine."
John would be like,
Yes.
anything for the content.
that's
right.
That sounds like
At what the
content.
podcast.
just out
Right,
banner.
right.
a small
Yeah, banner
at the
just
bottom.
looping.
Yeah, the defamation is because of this podcast.
Yeah.
You went on and dragged
actually.
Jordan. And,
Oh, then still
Yes,
QR
yes,
code.
yes.
you know, yes.
QR code.
Yeah,
on my
you
shirt.
should just wear the shirt. Yeah.
You
would
also,
be
this
so
is a good
funny.
question for you, Annie. I don't know if you know. You're a government expert. Do you have to dress nice when you go to court?
Yeah.
You can't just wear anything.
No.
You can
Well,
get thrown
you
out
get
for
an-
contempt
you
of
can
court.
get-
You have to
you
make
can-
a good impression too.
No,
but
like
I'm
the
saying,
judge,
if
the
I didn't
judge
care
can
about
throw
impression,
you
The
out.
judge will throw you out.
The judge can throw you
Really?
out. It's like
That's like the movie we watched, Becca and Vinny, right?
yeah.
I will say,
It's like
Johnny
held
Depp's
in
fits though
contempt.
have been
fire. He kind of looks
Fire.
low key like a mobster though, with his
Oh,
slick back
yeah.
hair.
Yes,
I'm like,
the ponytail.
yeah, maybe
And
he
is
did.
he wearing this
Maybe
big
he
colored-
did do it.
the colored lenses glasses that
He's
he's
done
been
that
wearing those,
forever.
right?
He's
Yeah.
always worn those.
I know.
though.
I just love that he's doing it inside. I love that he's like doing
Yeah.
it.
You know
he's
what?
rolling
This
it.
sounds stupid too. I used to have those because I have a light sensitivity issue,
okay,
and in
here
the
we
third
go.
grade, I had to get
Something
special
new we're
glasses.
learning about Annie. Yeah, this episode every week. She
you
brings
couldn't watch
something.
those Star Wars movies because there's too much
Too light,
going
too
on.
much light. I'm
much
too
light.
sensitive.
Those lightsabers would really jack up her eyes.
But
You don't even know what I'm talking
went
about
to,
right
like,
now.
nah.
That's like a sword made out of light.
and it goes. Vroom, vroom.
Okay, all right.
She know-
All right.
she
You
knows.
just wear those
I
glasses.
know. So I used to wear them, and before that, they just like thought I was like really bad at reading, and then it took one teacher to be like, "Nah, her eyes are like fucked," and then she
really?
like did some special tests with me, and my mom said like it was crazy, like all of a sudden like, dang, you could read. I was like,
Wow.
wow,
Jeez.
thank
Nice.
God. But then I purposely lost them because I had different colored lenses in, and you're like third grade, you don't want to be
the dork.
weird, yeah.
He's a weird kid with the
And
colored lenses.
I have been told for many years that they were very expensive, and I'm still in trouble for it.
Wow,
So
you're a
you
freak.
purposely lost
You're
them.
a
What did you do
freak.
with them?
I,
Toss
you
them
know
out?
what? I really don't remember, but I
They're
remember
on a shelf
like,
somewhere. You think?
Throwing them away.
You think
it's
we'll
cool.
find 'em?
Just
I
in a
think
trash can.
I think it's probably.
Are your parents
gone.
hoarders
Dump,
or are
dump.
they trashers?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
They're
cool,
they're
cool.
hoarders of things that don't need to be hoarded, and trashers of things that I'm like, why would you
You're
throw
like,
that
"That
away?
was my
Oh, wow. Huh?
Family
Like, well-
albums are like,
got it."
There's like some things that they're like, trash it, and then there's other things that they're like,
ooh, this is tough.
and I'm like, why do we have this?
Birthday
Like, why?
card. It says "Love you, Mom." You know, I don't know.
Yep. Got him.
My
Well,
childhood art, trash.
I will
trash,
always remember the day where Johnny Depp almost hit me with his car.
Go ahead.
What? Oh,
What?
Kara, wait, what?
You're just gonna.
Okay, Kara.
Crossing the street. She
I was
the street.
crossing the street in Hollywood. I was on my way to school. Crossing the street, it was my time to walk. I was like in the middle, and this car comes like revving up and literally screeches to a halt. And I stopped and I looked at the car. It was like barely tinted, but it was a fancy sports car. Don't remember what it is now. Super fancy. It was like, I think it was blue.
That was
I
like
don't remember.
on Vine and Sunset, right? Like right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was by kind of like by the 7-Eleven,
Okay.
closer to your apartment.
Okay.
And then I was like, that
Right
that
off of
looks
Hollywood Boulevard
I was like, that
is
kind
the
of looks
point.
like Johnny Depp. And I looked it up, and it was one of his cars.
Oh, so you didn't see
Oh,
him.
so you didn't see him in there?
No,
No,
I
she
did.
Could have been any
Oh,
guy.
You saw him.
She
And I
saw
said
him
that
in
looked like
tinted
Johnny
windows.
Depp.
You said
Oh,
tinted
and you looked it
windows.
up.
She said barely
And you looked it up, and it was his
Oh my
car.
God, listen to the damn story,
I don't know.
John.
Yeah, kind of is the story.
Kind of vague.
Looked it
you
up.
know?
And it was his. He has a huge collection of vintage
Yeah.
cars.
Of
and
course,
I
that
looked it
seems
up, and
something
it was
like you
in
would
there, and
have.
I was like,
That's Johnny Depp. That was Johnny Depp.
I was like,
I mean,
please hit me with your car, pay for my student loans.
$100
I
million,
had
please.
a friend that got hit by a car in high school. Guess how much money they got paid out? I'm keeping the
$17.
identity.
$10,000.
$17?
I'm gonna ask you afterwards. I'm gonna say you got
10.
probably $200.
$50K.
Wow.
Wow. Dang.
So it was $15,000, but I think it was because this guy that hit them had like several hit and runs on
So
his
you pay him
record.
off?
Cash.
No. They went to court, did the whole thing, and they were not the person that I'm talking about. Were not like it took a long time to heal. Had a long term like back and spinal issues and but 15 grand.
Dang.
And they
You think it's
used
worth
to
it?
pay
I
books.
mean,
I
was
don't
that
know.
enough?
I don't think so. I mean,
I think if you had like long term, that's not enough.
No.
Definitely not enough.
well,
Remember,
I mean, this is also
long,
in
long injury or death.
That's
this
true.
is in like
That's
2011, 2012.
Long
so I
recovery
don't
or
know.
death.
I don't know. I mean, nowadays I feel like you could people are suing for nothing nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Annie, you'd like break your foot and then you'd be like, oh, long
me
recovery or
Death.
death. Just kill me.
Death. Just kill me.
murder.
Just
Kind of just
kill me.
curious about this, kind of related, but not. Do you think Will Smith is going to get any more work? Or do you think he's blacklisted?
no,
I
he's
think
gonna
he's-
get work.
I don't.
No, he's
I don't
definitely
think-
gonna
Obviously,
get
it's a very different thing than.
But I don't
like-
think. I think the difference is I don't think he's going to get good work.
If I listen
don't
to
think
if I learn
that-
anything from inventing Anna, it's that
Or
males
no one's gonna wanna
fail
work with him.
upwards in this society.
No
Oh.
one's gonna want to work with him. No,
That's so true. But I just love that you quoted inventing Anna.
Inventing Anna, yeah, it's a good series.
I don't
by
know
the
what
way.
that is.
It's a Netflix series. It's
I thought you
good.
were talking about Annie.
Yikes.
No. She's
It's
not
this
writing
girl
a book.
who's
no.
like she was like she faked being an heiress.
She
It is
was
a true
this
story.
close.
Yes. You were
Yeah.
telling
And
us about
she
this.
and she like
But so the
Fake
guy
fail
upwards.
She tried to get this guy to loan her money, and basically this banker who totally whiffed and like almost gave her money. He instead of getting demoted, he got
Promoted.
to like a
'Cause
senior
he
VP
whistle
after making this
blew.
mistake. You know what I'm saying? And
Loser.
yeah, so men
which
fell
is
upward.
which is very true. And I,
I think
oh,
they'll both. Well, I was just gonna say, I think Will Smith will go on and do like some gritty. He'll go on and do like gritty, like indie movies, and probably same to Johnny Depp, like because that's what like people like that in that realm. Like they're done for Disney for sure, but like weird Wes Anderson, weird like
Or like kind of
offbeat movies.
If I was a major celebrity, I would not want to work with Will Smith.
really.
If I was a C-list celebrity,
What?
heck yeah, I'd still want to work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
if
thinking
you were,
of myself
no,
as like if I was like think of someone
But
really.
you've got
No.
you've got a
I
different
think-
brand than somebody like weird like Taika Waititi or like if you were like, oh, I'm gonna do like this weird edgy movie. Will Smith.
yeah,
I
would.
think it depends on how he's perceived by his peers. Like you look back at
he's banned from the Grammys for 10 years.
but like
But Denzel Washington
Denzel
consoled
Washington
him.
and like these people who came
At
up,
the
Bradley
time.
Cooper, like these people who are also held at these high standards, if they continue,
They thought
with
they were reading the
respect-
room, but they were probably wrong.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
but like
true.
if they continue to treat him with like the utmost respect, like
Uh-huh.
I think people will follow suit.
Totally.
I think you're gonna see the next movie he's in, whether it be indie or big
The
screen.
next movie he's in
people are
is
going
going
to
be
protest.
that
They're-
Shark Tale 2 that he
Okay.
could come out
I
with.
hope.
Get out.
Shark Tale 2.
Okay.
I disagree. It'll be something. I mean, it will be like polarizing, but he'll come back and we'll have a Will Smith renaissance. I think that's kind of my hot
You're
take.
probably right.
Well, we are just about wrapped up for
That's
the
right.
evening.
Wait,
but
Where's our present?
Oh,
but
hey.
Annie's going to introduce this segment. Apparently, go ahead.
Hey, this is the segment. I'm Ryan. This is the segment where I make my friends eat
we got
things
some
that I
schmooly
got
here.
that they didn't.
I got a box
they
of
didn't,
schmooly.
That they didn't ask for.
They didn't ask for, and I'm
wow.
gonna make
I
them,
guess you
and
guys
it's gonna
don't
be
want
bugs.
these mini donuts from
Are
the
they-
Mini Donut Company.
Hey,
that I
where did you
just
get
picked
this?
up
Wait,
at
why?
Liberty Station. Wait,
I
can
would've-
you see these? Look at
Barely. Not really. You need to fold.
I'll show you. We've got a sugar
We got
donut.
flavors to share.
We've got
We need a ceiling cam.
a chocolate. I think this is a
Heath
Heath bar.
Oh,
They're so cute.
And last but not least,
Fruity Pebble.
the piece de resistance, the Fruity Pebble mini donut.
That's
this
right.
is, I think, a local company.
It is.
They're in
They
Liberty
opened
Station.
about 4 months ago in Liberty Station.
The miniature
You guys
donut
love
company.
Liberty Station.
We're big into Liberty Station.
We love Liberty
Hey guys,
Station.
check out a moniker in Liberty Station.
Come find me. If
find
you
her.
listen to this podcast,
Whoa, exposer.
come find me. Tell me that you listen, and I'll give you free coffee.
Okay, that's
What?
I'm just saying.
Cooper.
I'm just saying.
I
If you're
wish that
listening,
meant more.
Fire her. Are you getting a
Yeah.
good shot of these, Karen? I don't want to
yes.
dump them out. But
Yes, I am.
Wow,
Mini donuts,
so good.
guys.
Yes,
one for
always.
each of us in every flavor. So
Let's try these.
Off
off
camera.
camera, you don't
Yeah,
want to
let's
eat
do
on
off
camera.
camera.
Yeah, okay,
Well,
fine.
all right.
Because
At
we
least
have
we
no
showed
time.
them.
We have no time.
Yeah.
We're out of time.
We are. We're out
Suppose
of
we
We
time.
talk a lot, man.
One more shot.
This one was
of
flowing.
Myself here.
Of yourself?
A little self tape.
Yeah, a little
Self-table.
narcissism
Okay.
for the road.
Oh, jeez. Narcissism for the road. That
That
is the name of his special. What do you actually?
Hold the donuts.
A little narcissism for the road.
Gosh.
Alrighty.
I want that to be your autobiography.
A little narcissism for the
Gilf
road.
is going to be my autobiography.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I thought this was a mistake.
Detective Annie. Join us next week for the mystery of where did the donuts go? And who's gonna hire Will Smith? What is Elon Musk gonna do with all of his Twitter now?
With all of his Twitter.
I'm recapping the episode. What else did we talk about?
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
And Johnny Depp.
Is art better when it's hard?
Damn. It really
We'll
is.
see you next week on
What the Podcast?